Cindy, I'm gonna go check in on them Saturday. I'm gonna go watch them play.
Oh. Oh, there he is.
I'm sitting here. I gotta keep everybody on track on the computer. Gotta make sure, I'm also making sure that we can see him too. He's talking. Oh, that bling. Those are awesome. I like all that bling on those.
Oh, thank you.
They're great.
That XOXO brand.
Yeah, of course. That's why they're so good. That's why they're so good.
No.
That's good. What's the back say?
Team Ford. We made them for Miss Shaylin.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The
yeah.
Mrs. Roll. Mrs. Roll. Love it. Love it. I can't remember. Did you meet Miss Joe Coffee? That's Dana. I can't remember if you guys were in session together. Okay.
I only came once here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
No, but I did sign up for that this morning.
That's Miss Joe. That's Joe Coffee. Dana's Miss Ohio. That's Mrs.
No, I know Dana.
Yep.
This is Miss.
Yeah, this is Mrs. Show Coffee. Yep. That's Cindy.
Our royalty. I'm retiring.
You're done.
I saw that.
He's like, now I want no more subjective competition. I want to know when I win, I'm winning.
It really is.
When I win, I'm winning. No more worried about what else to do. Okay, so we're trying to make sure that we can see him too. Once he starts talking.
We're like, yep, that girl Dustin and Bears swear.
Yep. Take that.
She's legit faster. Everybody can see that.
I can handle. I can lose with grace.
Yeah.
Not when I don't know. That's when I can't lose with grace.
Yeah.
Right.
Just to see how close you are, like,
Right.
you don't win, you're like, how far away was I, what do I do? Yeah.
So this USA Track and Field is something I know most of you have heard of, seen, if you ever watched the Olympics on TV. That's the organization. So that's the U.S. Olympic Committee, USA Track and Field. That's the governing body. That's like the NFL for football. USA Track and Field is that for track. Now they have, the difference is, they have another division, a master's division. So when the open is when you're, before you move to master. But typically, there really is no, you could be 60 years old and running the Olympics if your time is good. Because typically, people are usually done with open by the time they're 38, 40, around those. That depends on the event. After that, a lot of them go into math, but they still want to compete. Some don't, they go in their other careers or whatever, but they can't. Also, who goes into masters are people who either ran track in college, high school, or have some type of latent athletic ability in running or track that they'd never explored, and they want to do it, try it for the first time.
A little bit more of an angle.
So your voice
Just a little bit more of an
actually
angle.
gets picked up by the camera. You're
Square to the
speaking-
camera?
No, square to the room.
Yeah.
So that the camera can
Yeah.
hear you, otherwise they have no hope.
Oh,
Yeah, and then make
That
sure,
direction.
yeah, the microphone can hear you too. Don't speak away from the microphone.
Look at the target, just speak to the
Yeah.
target,
So-
Rachel.
Yeah,
So,
more in that direction will help the microphone.
so the
Steph, let me know if you can't hear.
open class, so they do it by age ranges, are your competitive division. So the open class, 19 to 24 years old, then you start going up from 25 all the way up to 100 or whatever by 5-year increments. And that's what you compete in. So as soon as you hit a certain age, you move to the next age. like I said, you could be 47 years old, and if you run a fast enough time or you throw it far enough, you'll go right to the open, which is the open for Olympic trials and all that stuff. That's how it works. So there's really no limit on what you can do as far as getting into the Olympics or whatever. You know, it's a very small chance, but you could. And so when you look at track a lot of times, you'll see like the Santa Monica Track Club, the Oregon Track Club. The way track works on a pro level and just period is you run for a track team, and then you're sponsored by Nike or Adidas or whatever, and then you compete at USA Track and Field, Nationals, World Championships, Olympics, or whatever. So we're the team, we're the Nike, Amp Up Sports Nutrition, and we're fielding a USA Track and Field track team, primarily masters, and we also have some open people because we have, I think, Lena, she's in college, she's going to be in it. We have several that are going to do like the 19 to 24. So we want to have like a full track team. You compete as a team, especially at the nationals. And so everyone who places 1 through 8 in your event, you have points to the team. Then they tally up the total points of the team, and you say, okay, our team won the national. Of course, that's my goal, is for our team to win the national. For us to take it over, blah, blah, blah. So first I'm going to go just in like some basic informational stuff, but then I'm kind of give you color to it so you get a feel for what it's like visually and can kind of see where you place it.
Make sure you're talking louder over here.
The first thing is we typically, just like we've done with powerlifting and other things, we see something in people, and then we say, we can develop it. So you're not going to go into something that you don't have a natural inclination to be developed into. So we're very good at that. So we'll figure out what event is close to you, and we say, okay, there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 events, then we're going to develop you into it. So by and large, this is primarily a development team. So you're on a development team, a USA Track and Field development team. We have some people that are already competing, and they'll be on the team and they'll be on the competition team. So they're just already doing that, whatever. So this primarily to put together the development team. So one, the development team, there's 2 teams, 2 team segments. There's the development team, and there's the competition team. You will not compete until your times, your measurements, your distances, whatever, are at the level we know make you competitive. So when we put you out there, you're ready to go and you're going to do well. So we do that in the training, step by step. You're here, in the thing that you have the most natural inclination at. The events they're sprinting events, and that's, where you're just real short times. So there's from indoors 60 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters. 1 time around the track is a 400 meters. 2 times around 800 meters. 4 times is the mile, 1,500. Those are what I call more the faster runs, from a mile down to the 60. Then you go more to your distances, 5,000 meters, 10,000 meters, that's like 3 miles. I put them to a 5K, those types of distances. That's your distance run. There's also race walking. It's not just walking like people walk out the neighborhood. It's actual a technique, Olympic technique of walking. So there's race walking teams. Then you have the throws, javelin, shot put, hammer throws, throwing a hammer, discus, those things, hurdles, short hurdles, long jump, triple jump, high jump over a bar, steeple chase. Those are where you see people jump over something, they jump down in the water and then keep running around the track. Those are steeple chase events. And then pentathlon, decathlon. That's what made Bruce Jenner famous. He's only in my mind as Bruce Jenner. I cannot take
He
it
won
out
the
of my
Olympics
mind.
as Bruce Jenner.
Yeah, I can't.
To be fair.
I was imitating I was him, so I can't erase it. It's so great. But it's that event where you do 10 events in one. So there's a big variety of events. And so you get an event, points towards the team. Our primary goal is to win as a team. So you're going to get like all the different teams out there. You'll see their 10th, whatever. And then obviously you get individual wins too. So that gives you pride in yourself. So like the divisions, then the other thing is, so you're 14 USA. So the goal is they take the world championship very serious, but you're going to advance the world. And so you want the US to win. So the team with the most medals is what country. So every year that's a big deal. But that's also part of what we're doing, is to help America actually win at the world championship. So age groups are like you're 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 70 to 74. Those are the age range. And each of them have records and everything within it. And the records are very formal, very serious. It goes down in USA track and field history. Events-wise, the events look like you'll do a regional event, which is closer around here in the Midwest, Indiana, Ohio, something close to here. And in high school, that's similar like, you remember the dual. You just go against one school or two schools. They're smaller, and they let you, compete, but you're not yet on a national. Then you go to the national meets. And there's the nationals that we just came from here. Then there's other national meets that are for different things throughout the country. And then you have the world championship. There's the indoor nationals and the outdoor nationals also. Then there's the world championship. Based on your performance that season will determine if you qualify to be on the world championship team. And that's usually somewhere, just awesome. And they give you the same uniform that the Olympic team gets. They give the Masters World Championship team. I mean, it's the whole thing. Like an email I said, like this was this year's World Masters Championship team. Like you're the team. So like I said, us three, we've been competing in it, doing well. Let's admit this. On the email, I gave a collage of pictures to give you an idea of like kind of a flavor of like what it looks like. The variety, you get people at the meet between like you have somebody that's in like first place might be somebody that is an Olympian that just came in the Masters. I mean, they're just awesome. But then you'll have people that are just like really good athletes competing. So it's not like full of Olympians and full of ex-pros, and it's not full of people that are just like trying to do it, and not really doing it. It's like solid athleticism and a variety of praise. And it doesn't drop. One of the things I like about it is so much that by and large in the world, I see most people basically give up on their virility, fitness level, sexuality, strength, damn near when they're 30 now.
I know.
When you go to these things and you see someone, the times don't hardly drop like
Yeah.
they'll be like, they're running times like they're still in high school. They'll be 50 years old, 60. I'm like, when does it slow down? They're not giving up. So you just go like, oh, everybody doesn't give up on their body.
Yeah.
So it's real motivational to me. So I'm saying, so I want us to be inspirational, motivational to the world.
Yeah.
By you guys showing it. It's like, goddamn, everybody shouldn't just give up, on life. So we're going to show, we're showing you don't have to. So that's a big thing. So it's right, like this Colleen Barney girl, she's like she's in her 50s. She got on American Ninja Warrior. But like she got on another girl, she's pretty famous. She's like they call her the running realtor. She's like 70 now, but she's been doing it for like 15 years. She got a Nike commercial talking about this stuff, about not giving up and keep going and all that kind of stuff. Then like there's a lot of like ex-NFL guys like this Henry, he competes in USATF Masters, this guy. There's just some like this Willie Golf, who was with the 85 Bears, the famous Bears. He like this and played for the Raiders. He like setting world records in it. In USA Track and Field. So you have like people like that. Then people.
Is Willie Golf 60?
Yeah, he's 60 now. You have, access. Then you have people that are just like training hard, and and want to compete in. And so you have that variety. So you don't necessarily expect yourself to say, hey, I'm gonna be able to beat this person that used to be Olympian, but you'll be competing for second and third and medals, and you go to like regional meets and you have a shot to win. It's just very competitive and very stimulating. The meets, the female, the USA Track and Field Masters and Open, all that stuff, they're televised on like on NBC Sports, their Olympic channel. They have an Olympic channel televised on there, televised on Peacock, like the Nationals, put that in the email. Then there's like a magazine, and the magazine has they track like all the meets. They cover it. When you get All-American, you get listed. Then there's like All-American standards. That's the big thing. It's like, regardless of winning a meet or not, just becoming an All-American by hitting your numbers. Then you get your awards for it. There's all that stuff. So it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's the whole setup. Now, you get your ranking. I had to print out Brittany's ranking. Like Brittany's like number, she's like top 10 in America in the 400 meters. And Allison Felix is number 1. Then like Brittany's 8. You know what I mean? Then like Doris just won the 100 meters in the world championship. Shelly Ann Fraser, she's like number 1, obviously. Then the girl that beat Brittany, Easter, is like number 4, and Brittany's like number 10. Now Brittany's not close to Shelly Ann Fraser's time, but she's still top 10 because there's only like 3 people that fast. So there's a lot. You know what I mean? You just go like, man, there's a lot of that you can accomplish for yourself, by getting into this. Even like, yeah, exactly.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
how we
It's
feeling
fun.
today?
This is
Yeah, that girl, one of the girls, she stepped over the line And so she got disqualified at indoor nationals, the girl who was #1. And it was this whole like, oh my God, did she, like, there was like this whole political thing, like, did she actually crossed the line or not? Because she was the favorite and
So
she
she
just
didn't win.
wanted everything, but she got disqualified.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you can get disqualified.
So Melinda got top 10 in the US in the 60 meter.
Now I'm going for the world record. So
Now
5 years, I gotta get that world
it
record.
seems like it's not a big deal, but
Huge.
I'm in the top 50 in the high jump, so
Yeah.
that's hard. I'm telling you. This is stuff we go for, you know. We go for, we've done other events. So now I'm going to color it more for you.
Act like church. Just give it to Sierra and she can start back. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to share screen for you all. Share screen for you all.
Yeah.
Is there a limit? Project I was doing before I came here. I guess that's the limits. You're putting in.
Yeah, we'll have that. So I'm not particularly, I'm not making turn out because I think we have a good, like, I don't think I'm gonna, you know, like if you're doing a hurdle, I don't think it's gonna be a big battle. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a good battle. But you're right, I want to have a certain amount of people in different things. Yeah. Okay, so the first, like, you see that girl jumping hurdle, she's 40. She's 40 to 44. That's at a meet. She's masters. Those guys in a row, those are like different countries, some masters guys. So what to expect? Like I said, it's like the Olympics. Ex-athletes, discovered athletes, you can discover they're an athlete. It's a good way to challenge yourself. You're not competing until we have you ready, and we will, because we're going to match you to the right event that's realistic for you to develop you into. And you got some athletic basis in. Then we'll determine that after the trial test. So I'm gonna test you. Like I kind of did a little bit with Baker. I had her throw a javelin, and she threw it a decent amount with no training at all. Well, she used to play softball, so I just had I had intuition. Well, she probably can throw. You know what I mean? Then we'll test her speed. You know, if she's quicker or whatever. So we'll figure it out. Now, some of you actually will end up being a track star in this thing. So like Brittany, you know, she didn't necessarily expect to, but I was training her just for working out, you know, and getting in shape. I just noticed when we did a track workout, I noticed that she looked pretty fast. I just noticed it. Then I took that to the development. Then I said, well, she did gymnastics, so I know she does the ball. So I said, well, you probably can long jump. I was right. So you just look at different things and I can see what someone can do. So, yeah, they have a social media. They have, like I said, stuff's on television. They have a magazine. So you can get into that level there. It's, I like to say, to resurrect neglected, unfinished, hidden, undiscovered athletic talent. So that's what we've done a lot to people. Like they didn't expect that they would be able to do something, and we see it, and that's what we're about. That's what our whole brand's about: resurrection, comeback, on the come up. So that's part of the promotion of the brand that we're doing for AMPA. You're promoting a sports marketing message and a brand of aspirational, I'm still alive, still winning, inspirational, breaking barriers, and doing extraordinary things with your body through athletics and look great doing it. So like Nike and Red Bull, those are sports markets. So we're pushing on ours. Ours like it's not over. Keep going. You can do it. We're inspiring people. All different shapes and sizes can do it. An aspirational and inspirational brand. Key points like part of this is like on your Facebook and Instagram. Your title is going to be athlete. Then also a big part is it helps you really get in shape, stay in shape. Like to look good, feel good, perform good. You promote good, you get paid good. Because everybody wants to be a winner. Everybody wants a winner. So when you win, you're going to solve so many problems. And it's not over, man. It's not over because I'm this age or doing this and that. Also, very similar to athlete, you get paid for any promotional opportunities that come to you as a USA Track and Field team athlete, prime for sports Christian. So as you're out there doing this, whatever comes up, we're putting that in this whole program and this whole team. A team of extraordinary athletes still doing, getting after it. Be proud of yourself. You're on a USA Track and Field track team. Find your best self with us. Trying is heroic in this. In fact, you're actually trying to compete. That got jumping. That's like pre-pandemic. You go to a certain meet. There's a pretty good sized crowd there. The pandemic, it's been like the crowds have been less, but the participant, the athletes are, they still keep coming and keep competing. So the team, AMP Sports Development, USA Track Development Team. You're in training. The focus is to be in training and prepare. That's the focus of this team. You have your training development uniforms, your equipment. There's the AMP logo and your athlete number. You get a number on it. These are like examples of what the development team uniforms look like. Give you an idea like t-shirt, tag, hoodies, your bags, whatever. This is what you're doing on the development team. Once again, I'm giving you a visual feeling of it. The next team is competition team. There's a CTS 3, competition team 3. Basically, you're just doing your regional meets only. Then when you go to CT2, you're doing regional and tiered national meets. So it depends on which national meet you go to, depends on how you're doing. You also get a Master's Pro card on that level, meaning you could be paid if you win meets or whatever. That's there, and also on the open level too. Then CT1 is competition team 1. That's you're qualified to do a world championship, to go to the world championship. There's AS All-State status and A All-American status award. So like I said, these are like the All-American standards. And you go for those numbers, you become a USA Track and Field Masters All-American. Open All-American.
So like, let's say you're off.
Yes.
Jumping, so you can go on, but maybe you're still developing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And that
So
happens
you can
like.
jump up your certain skill sets to certain levels.
Yep.
Yeah, like you could be developing pole vault, but then you
But then
can
you
go
still-
into javelin
Yeah.
sooner than a pole vault
Yeah.
or relay.
And also All-American, you can go All-American in like 5 events. You can do that too.
But she was asking more
I know.
development
I
team
just-
versus competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
compete on one, but then
You
be
can develop
developing
it
on
on
the
one,
other.
Yeah, you might not develop as fast.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I said, we're real good about that because like I'm about looking good at winning. So like I'm gonna put you there when just like we do with powerlifting. Like,
Exactly.
everyone fucking wins.
Mhm.
Then USA Track and Field competition team, Now, these are the competition uniforms. You notice these are just the uniforms you see them wearing in the Olympics or in the World Championships. They're the same ones. I'm just showing you like the types of things you're wearing. Like something like one on the end is for throwing. The others are sprinting, like certain tops are for sprinting and throwing events or field events. There's the male uniforms. Then you have your competition shoes. They're sprinting spikes you have to get. There's throwing spikes that are different. There's race walking shoes.
Yeah, those you don't just go buy those bikes. The shoe sizes are nothing like what you're used to.
We have
It's crazy. So don't make moves and buy spikes.
we
before
got
we actually go through the whole lesson on that.
we got a Nike, and we got an endorsement deal with Nike through a sporting goods company, and so we send you there, get discounts, all that kind of stuff. So you have that endorsement thing as part of the team. Now the track and field location to meet, local, regional, national, they're all at major universities. So like we just did this one at University of Kentucky. They'll be at USC, University of Southern California, if they're, on the big ones. We just last year we did the Iowa State University. They're at major universities. Even the regional ones are like Mount Union. We did one at Mount Union, real nice university, not far from here. But they're all are at colleges. The World Championships are at Olympic Stadium. So they're at like in Greece. They were in Finland this year, just Tampere, Finland this year, this past year. Those kind of things. So that's like a big trip, big deal. There is a USA Track and Field Hall of Fame for Masters, for Open. You can get in it for Masters. You get world rankings are always there, like I just showed you that we saw. You break a record, it gets in the record books.
Yeah, for life.
Okay, then so any questions? Oh wait. About the what? Until you're ready. Yeah. Then once you develop, it's just simple. It's like, oh, your time's going up. Oh, you threw far. Oh, you just up. Okay, you're ready. Then you move up to the competition. And then you're going to competition. But development is just like you're in development. You're training and practicing for your event.
Yeah, the thing about track and field is every single one of these events is all about the technique. That's what he's going to show. So you have to first start with genetics. You've got to have the muscle fibers that match that event. And then you have to do technique. It's nothing like what you're imagining. So the throwing events is not just throwing like throwing a football. Same thing like the javelin or the discus or even jumping events. They all require technique, which requires muscle memory. So you can't rush the creation of that muscle memory. So that's why you really got to develop the right way. And when it comes to powerlifting, since most of you have trained with powerlifting, okay, we're getting you strong. We're showing you good form on how to do stuff, but that goes pretty quick. The muscle memory of just moving weight, that's completely different than the coordination of actually doing a track and field event. So that's why we want to make sure that the coordinations are there. All the technique is there.
Yeah, so your technique is huge on it. So a lot of development is you have to develop the muscles you're going to use. So your hip, your shoulder, your rotator cuff, all the things. You got to get all those muscles back. The nervous system work and everything, on that. So when you start actually practicing the event, your body will agree. You know what I mean? So there's step by step.
And when you're getting ready to compete, I just know there's the experience of powerlifting where you're progressively lifting more and more. And then you go for your max at the meet and you might be a little bit sore afterwards and then you recover. So me being in lifting for so many years, I was used to the progression of the weights and the way the body recovers from that. It's a whole different game plan when it comes to track, whether it's sprinting events, long distance events, walking events, throwing events, the way that you're stressing your muscles and the muscle groups there. If you don't strengthen those muscle groups that are going to take a pounding, you have a much higher risk for injury, but then also you can't execute at the highest level when it is time to compete. So that's something that I had to discover the hard way when it comes to all the muscles in the feet, all the muscles in the calves and the ankles. My feet, I couldn't even stay on my toes to execute proper form the first time I went to nationals last summer because my feet were not actually strong enough. So you have to get those muscle groups strong enough to be able to maintain and execute the proper form to be able to do your best. So that's something that, I mean, I wasn't even expecting it going into all of this training. So that's kind of the learning curve that I went through and that we went through. And even this year at nationals, it was so much better and I was so much more prepared. But when you go all out, the amount you have to strengthen the feet and those muscles to take that pounding, we really comprehended it this year. Yeah. So now we're able to put together training programs based on what we all experienced and what we felt we were lacking so that we can actually prepare your bodies so you can have the best time. Because it's not fun if something hurts and you can't throw your hardest. I mean, you're there to go all out. So that's what's fun about it. So now we can actually help you guys train properly and have a really successful and enjoyable competition season.
You can do, and it's different events take different things. So for instance, let's say for me, distance is like something in my brain just shuts off.
I was going to say, you don't do
distance.
distance.
Like,
why are we having this
I feel
conversation?
like I could do it, and my brain just goes.
After a 200.
I can't keep my attention.
Half a
A
lap,
200 is
that's
And so like
200 is distant.
my attention with someone, you know, so then some people just go like, that's where they get in their groove. They go, okay, my brain, I get in the zone, you know, so.
When they get a high off of that, I'm like, I get no high.
I get no
Same
high.
thing with throwing some things, you know, like certain things, I like to throw certain things I don't, certain things don't, you know, so you find your thing, it's like, that's your thing, and then that's where you can get the team the most points. And like I said, this is really teams. Like when you come to the nationals, you see teams coming, you know, different teams. So we got to be the best team.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Then
We're
this is
gonna have
gonna,
our own
With the
tent,
coolest
we're gonna have our
tent,
own
with the coolest
territory,
tent.
we've got it all
Yeah.
planned out. We're
Yeah.
gonna be making shakes there, we're gonna have massage tables set up, we're gonna have masseuses, we're gonna have the whole thing.
So can you switch back and forth?
This is just to look through some pictures.
Can I bedazzle my-
yeah, you can do both. Yeah, yeah. It's just like ice cream.
You can bedazzle.
I don't know when you're gonna learn to do it.
Absolutely.
I am bedazzling sweat.
Yes, Dana, you
That's-
did see our garlic socks, right?
Yes, you should see the jacket.
Okay. You should see the shoes that I picked up from Linda and I this time.
Will you guys be using other facilities for like the field events, like the long jump requires like a long stretch of bit of sand, right?
Yeah. Are we gonna, you mean the train?
To train, yeah.
Yeah. We have,
See, I only made 10 of them.
like,
Do you have extra or not, Todd?
huh? I have one more. But who needs one?
She doesn't have one. Mary, go up and look at with Sierra. It's just to flip through some
Yeah, but
pictures.
obviously, outdoors, you know, we have outdoor tracks to go to. Indoor, we do have a couple tracks, and that's gonna be part of we meet up there and go through that, whatever.
And that's
For
where
the
being
people
a
that are
track
doing it.
club, we can reserve time at different universities.
Where you
We have
can't do it
special
solo.
access. Yeah,
The club can do it where a single person can't get in.
yeah.
So this is just images, because I just want to like, images, so like, this first image is like of a master's race walking. So like, then next is like a master's javelin. Then this next guy, this is like open division.
Pictures that he's looking through right now. I gotta switch the phone.
It's
I don't
just
want to get
image.
out of this phone. We're not done with this current one.
Well, it's okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
send an
it's
email
not
to
like
you guys.
powerlifting. There's not set uniforms like that.
So this guy right here is throwing a discus. The guy down there that's throwing a shot put. These two girls, that's a shot put throwing.
I think that
Another
one girl
guy.
just got the world record, that chocolate girl.
Yeah.
She's got a world record.
The next page, these are like open. This is like that early 20s age going in. This is a javelin thrower underneath. This is a hammer thrower. That's on a string and you spin around and throw that hammer. And then you go down to even showing like the junior division, the images of them.
Yeah, Mary, you would be junior division. So
Junior,
with,
and there's a
Amanda
junior
Scott.
Olympics for the junior division up to age 19.
Oh, Pam, that's because of Shannon.
And
We always want Cam.
And so, like I said, so basically, eventually you have your more distance things, your walking and your running distance. You have your middle distance, like your 800 meters and I mean your mile and and right in that zone. Then you have your sprints. Then you have your throwing events. And then you have your jumping. And so there's different things there. You don't want to make a judgment on what you can and can't do until you test.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I did track and I never did anything else. He put me in. None. I never even thought about him. I think my school didn't even offer him. I'm like,
Well,
oh
you-
my God, this is so
but,
cool.
but you sprinted. You knew
I
you
was a
could
sprinter,
sprint.
yeah,
fast.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Sprint, but
Like
I
I
never
said,
did high jump, never did
there's a clue.
javelin, never
There's
did any
a
of
clue
that.
which direction you go.
Yeah, it's so fun. Okay, so
Yeah,
we
they're
are leaving
here.
off, we're on this page right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Now wait a minute. So before she's gonna like go over like the details.
What it's gonna be
So,
like, what the training's gonna
You
be
basically
like.
have to, just like a team, you have training, practice. You have to be trained. You got to get your body in shape. You also have to be, practice your actual event itself. And so there's phases to it. So first phase, getting the body in shape. Second phase, start to do more practice on your events, and we keep going, all gauged to the meet and what your times are. And we take your times, you're throwing the distance you threw, the time, whatever you've done, and we work from there on what you're doing. Then we say, here's your first goal. Your first goal is to get this, the next one. Then once you get that goal, your goal is to compete in this meet. Or your goal is to get all American. Like you'll be able to tell. A lot of you are going to be more surprised that you're closer than you think to do it to the numbers you need. But you have to see. And then you have to consider like, okay, I go, if you were 10 pounds less, or if you had practiced this technique for 2 months, what would it be? Then that's how I determine what it would be. So I'm real good at that, whatever. And so, okay, so Melinda's going to go over
What the training and the practice is gonna be like. Brittany, can you get your plug for this guy? Okay, so I'm gonna discuss this. I'm still on this page that we're on. Steph, can you see the whole page? Can somebody give me a thumbs up that you guys can see the whole page? Okay. I'm still on training and practice page. Yeah, okay, thanks. Good.
And look
Thanks.
over your email that we sent. It's good because it has information on there just for you to get more information if you need it.
Okay, so a big thing on the training, the way that we were determining how are we going to work with people that don't live in state, how are we going to work with people that don't live in town, what's it going to actually take to train people with track and so forth. And we proved it since COVID, being able to train people in every single state on Zoom and through the app as long as they go to a gym. And also, let's say like Diane, for example, I was training her in Florida pretty much all of COVID years. She was just down in Florida and she'd go to the gym and we'd be on Zoom together and I could train her right there. Do the same thing with Mike in Athens, Ohio. So what's going to happen with this is we do have to see people, if possible, if they are in state and they can come and meet us at one of the tracks around Central Ohio once a month. So we're looking at a 3-time-a-month type of a training style. One would be live. The other two, if you're here and you want to do it live, you can come live. Otherwise, you could just do it virtual because we'll have Zoom on while we're doing it, just like my boot camp. So I have some live people, then I've got hundreds of people that are on Zoom for the boot camp. And then some people could just watch the video the next day or on the weekend, like Karen, when you have a really busy schedule, you're like, I can only get my workouts in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you can just do them on the days that you can actually do them. So there'll be 1 week off a month. So there'll be 3 weeks that you're actually actively training. So that's what one live plus one live / virtual 90-minute workout. They are absolutely going to be 90 minutes long. I am going to tell all of you, it takes me at least 1 hour to warm up before he even gets to the track. So you're gonna, especially masters, you're gonna need warm up time, stretch time, just good relaxation time to get fully prepped before you even get going. So that's a really big thing. So you'll start to figure that out real fast. Weekly app workouts are going to be part of it. Now, these app workouts, they're not going to be anything that anyone needs to assist you with, because it's going to be, we're working on, like Brittany was saying, all those little muscles that we know, little like ligaments and tendons and muscles and ankles and feet and toes, everything that gets hurt is unbearable. It ruins the entire package. So a lot of that stuff that you're going to be doing is going to look like it's pointless, but you're going to be so ahead of the game, not getting hurt, not getting injured. So that's going to be a lot of your workouts. Also, your core getting super, super strong. You got to get your trunk really strong, especially if you're going to throw or jump in any way, shape, or form. Another thing about this,
Sprinters abs,
what?
all of it. Sprinters abs are the
Oh,
most
yeah.
abs ever.
Oh, yeah.
Well, also, like part of things like you have to have like an area in your house or garage or somewhere that you dedicate, because even like let's say you're doing a throwing event, you know, you will be practicing the throwing motion just like you would if you're actually in an event, or you'll be practicing, you know, you'll have a bean bag, you'll throw it against the wall like you're throwing a javelin, or if you're doing a hurdle, like you'll do
One leg
hurdle
over thing.
exercise over the hurdle. Like there's things you could do right inside as part of your practice, whatever. That's not actually on the track.
Yeah. So specific training will be for your event. So we're going to group you off anyway. So all the throwers will be together, all the jumpers will be together, all the sprinters will be together, all the race swappers together, all the middle distance runners. So that'll be how you train anyway. So each group that you're in, you'll actually be with just your group when we're actually training you.
And
then
if you're
that,
a jumper and a sprinter, you'll go between.
yeah. And that
But
will be the
that's normal.
workouts that will be on the app that actually matches what event you're going to do. So there's no wasting of that. When it comes to the diet, now most of you have power lifted with us, and that is a certain frame of mind. Okay. So you got a frame of mind when you got to make weight, right? That's just like, okay, I'm going to lift, I'm going to do everything, then I'm going to make weight for powerlifting. When it comes to track, this is not about making weight. This is like, I'm not hauling 10 extra pounds of fat when I'm trying to jump, when I'm trying to throw something. And your whole mentality changes. Like, this 6 pounds is too much. This 3 pounds is too much. So you'll shed extra weight off your body very, very easily to just lean out to make your event easier. So
It
that kind of
brings
stuff's
so
gonna
much
happen naturally.
awareness. Like
Yeah,
it
like,
was
this
so
is too heavy to
much
jump with.
easier for me to lose weight for track than it was to make weight for powerlifting. So coincidentally, I ended up getting down to pretty much the same low weight as when I had to weigh for powerlifting as the weight that I was at when I competed at track nationals.
Yeah, it's easier.
And it was a lot easier, very similar to how it was so natural for me to keep my weight down when I was in gymnastics for 10 years, which is also why I gained 20 pounds instantly when I quit, and none of my clothes fit instantly, because there's so much body awareness when you're pulling your own ass around and jumping it up in the air. There's just
Yeah.
so much awareness.
Yeah.
So the way it gives feedback to your body, all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm just gonna eat my chicken. I'm gonna drink my protein shake, and all of a sudden I really don't care about those chips in that bowl over there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what I love is an athletic mentality. You really start to get in a positive feedback loop with your performance,
Mhm.
where you're like, no, this feels really good to run at this weight. I feel faster, I feel stronger, I feel lighter, and I actually don't give a fuck about those chips in that bowl.
Mhm.
So it's just, I I love being in an athletic mindset about diet and about food. It's just so much easier.
And you will start to learn, just like Rachel is on a 24-hour fast and did all of her lifts today. You'll start to learn like how you want to perform. Like, okay, I didn't eat much, or I just had an ARD drink, or I don't want to eat a lot before I do it, or whatever.
The stopwatch.
Oh God, she hears everything. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Here,
but
do
answer
something
it,
with the
you
thing
can
she
figure out how to
hears.
turn that time is off. I don't know who set the
I
alarm.
hear it all the time with my workout.
Why that thing goes
Yeah,
off? She's
someday
the only
figure out
one
how to
that
set
hears
the
it.
alarms off.
And make sure
I'm
this is what comes with
It's
the
not
phone.
this one. It's not.
This is what comes with the phone.
I
It's
know.
not that one.
It's
somewhere
not-
else.
It's not that.
It stopped as soon as you touched it. No, it's still going.
Well,
No,
there's
it's
like
still
5 stopwatches, so it doesn't matter.
No,
It'll
she
go off
said it's
eventually.
that.
No, it's not that one.
No, it's still going.
There's 5. There's 5 in this
Oh,
area.
no.
It doesn't matter.
Oh no, Mary. Find it. Mary, use your hearing to
It's not
find
very
it.
loud on here,
Find
but
it.
Yeah, permanently.
she's
turn
the
it off.
youngest, so she has.
There's
to-
stopwatches in those bags.
Continue.
There's a stopwatch
Stop.
going off
No,
and there.
stop.
Yeah, it
They're
goes
going
off
crazy
crazy
over
every
it.
day and then it stops.
There's one hanging up in that side room by you, Mary.
No, it's gone.
It's not, okay, all right, got it. All right, that problem has been solved. Okay, all right, so still in the training, the program, so diet plan that's gonna go with having to do, it's gonna have to do with, obviously, if you gotta make weight, if you gotta drop weight based on your event, if you have to gain weight based on your event, if you gotta actually put muscle on just to jump, to do a pole vault or to do a high jump or whatever. Some people need to gain more muscle in order to even get over the pole. So that's going to be part of it. So that's why that's pretty specific on you. The diet plan is actually part of it. And then informational and motivational meetings. So that's going to be a different thing. Right now, a lot of you are live for the boot camp. You're live for the powerlifting. And I'm having to give the same speech 80 times. So now if we start to do a monthly meeting with you, I can collect all the information that I'm telling to so many different people and put it in a package where I have this meeting, we're all on the same sheet. If it's a new lesson, if Diane says, hey, if we switch our hands this way, we can work our triceps a different way to get better on bench. And I can teach everybody the same thing all at one time. Well, that's going to be what we're going to do with the track as well. So if it's a motivational thing, if it's an attitude thing, if it's something that we just learned, if it's a shoe that we said, oh my God, this form in Nike actually fit so much better than blah, blah, blah. We'll be able to go over all that on a once a month meeting on Zoom. Instagram and Facebook community, obviously, there's going to be a private group that we'll all be able to chat and talk to one another in. So $119 a month training fee for the track and field club and the coaching that goes with it. That's going to give you that diet and your actual workouts and the app. You're not paying separate. You're not paying a separate fee for diet. You're not paying a separate fee for the app. You're not paying a separate fee for the training. That $119 is all of that. So that's what this actual process is going to be to actually do it. And like I said, if people don't live here, if they're not going to come live, we still will do everything out of track by your house. If you got a bunch of land like Steph and you're going to be out on your land, you can do it out there. We'll tell you exactly how many meters. So Steph, I'm going to use you as an example. Let's say you go on your farmland and you get the can of spray paint and we're going to work on javelin with you or whatever. You'll measure it out. You'll measure it out and then start making lines. And then we'll say, okay, we got to get you to 12 meters or to 15 meters or to 18 meters for your age frame. And then that'll be how you start training. And then we'll start showing you actually how to do the form. So some people can be live, come and I will show you how to do the stuff and then you start practicing it. And just like powerlifting, we have to make sure you're actually doing it right. A lot of times you'll think that you're doing something right. And then unless somebody watches you or films you, I'm going to give examples over here. When I started filming the race walkers, they thought they had the race walking down. I started filming them. I'm like, nope, race walking is not down until you get filmed. We look at the film and then we can study the film and see exactly where you need to change. So filming you is really important too. So all that is part of the package.
Yeah. And so, so the last thing is the next step. So that's what the training looks like. So basically, the sets are live except one. We're going to actually meet at a track or at a huge gym if it's in the winter, where we can get, and you're going to do a big live training session. Then you're going to do live training sessions virtually with us. And then the app's going to have you doing all the other training you do during the whole entire month on your own that we tell you to do. Then the diet is going to be controlled also. Now, the next step, there's a testing trial to see what event matches you, what your potential, your best ability. I'm going to do. That's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. We'll give you the dates on those. You just are coming, warming up, then I'll say, okay, try this, try that, do this, because I have an idea, and then I'll get that, then I'll be able to assign your events to develop and compete. And then, like I said, we're looking at having a certain amount of people in each event, so we don't want to be like all in one event.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure
Can't do
there's
that.
certain spots. So you'll be the starter. You'll be the starter on the 100-meter on the sprinting team for that division. That 8th division. You'll be the starter in the javelin or starter like that, and on the team. And then the development team begins. You need to have access to a treadmill, a small open cleared indoor space, some weights, some bands. You need to have that on your own. Like if you're just doing throwing, you don't have to access to a treadmill, but it's good because you just need to do some walking stuff. But like you need to have a treadmill, especially during the winter. You get a track and field diet, sport specific diet. The meal replacement shakes are more for performance weight control to keep your weight managed. Then there's some natural performance enhancing supplements, stuff like VO2 max enhancers, lactic acid buffers, because that's a big thing. Like you're gonna hold off that lactic acid, you get faster times, enhance your VO2 max.
This is all stuff we've been developing with a sports doctor, and it's not even on the website yet. So it's the stuff that you guys are
You will be
literally
the
gonna
first one.
first ones to use it.
Yeah.
And we've been testing some of the stuff on ourselves, but Todd's been working with a doctor to get all of this stuff formulated.
Natural.
The right shoes and your training uniform, and then your competition uniform is that thing. So the testing and trials, we're planning to do them on Sundays. So there's, the least interference. And
We'll get the
Like I
time.
said-
Yeah, we'll figure the time out and then I'll check the
it
time.
won't
but
take a long
2
time
Sundays in a row.
for you, but like you'll get your time when it come to the event, come to the testing and trial, and then we'll be able to take it from there.
Okay, let me see what else, if there's anything else I need to make sure that I know. Okay, so as you see on there, the 18th and the 25th of September is when we want to do the trials. Most likely it's going to be a Sunday morning, afternoonish time. It is,
One or the other or both days?
we're just going to offer it both days. So
Okay.
whichever one. Yep, we're going to offer it both days. In case the
You don't
people
have
out
to
of
come
town or
to
whatever. Yeah, just as long as you come in and get your testing.
Yeah,
Either or.
just one.
Next you need to do it.
And then, but I'll have like a checklist, make sure you eat this or don't eat or whatever. I'll give you those ideas of that. And what we're projecting that we think that you're going to be good for. So it's not going to be up in the air. We've been training with most of you, so we know what kind of muscle fibers you have, but some of you could be tricky. You might have a shoulder we don't know about or whatever. So we'll have some of that in there, for those Sundays. I don't think there's anything else. I think that's all we need you to know. And again, there's not much you can do to prep for this. It's mainly your genetics. So that's all we're really able to do is just look at what your genetics are, what you have potential to do. So there's not much you can actually prep for something like this at all. Just get the right attitude. And another main thing to understand too, why we're starting these teams is because the main reason is because weight loss. I've heard this one guy say, most people are complete winners when it comes to losing weight. Everybody knows how to lose weight, and they're complete losers when it comes to keeping their weight off. So that is the fact on weight loss. So we're using these teams in order to keep the weight down. That's a really big thing. Having 2 different teams that can keep people focused year round. So that's what this is all
Yeah,
about,
we-
and being able to inspire people about
We
it.
have people that like aren't athletes around the country because we got a lot of people. So
Yeah.
when you get to the meets, you'll be meeting like
Super
people that
fun.
you haven't trained with here.
Yeah.
So we have like there's a lot of people that we didn't get in contact with.
Yeah. Yeah, or they're
That's
messaging
part
me
of it.
back now.
Yeah,
I just saw my email. I was like, oh, why
there's
did
a
I
lot
think
more
people check their
people.
email often? They
I
don't.
want to have a pretty good sized team.
Yeah.
Growing.
Our goal is to be the largest team, obviously, you know me. So we want to be the largest team. We want to be the most winning team. We want to have the coolest uniform, the coolest tent, the cool everything. I got to win across the board. I want everybody passing out at the USA Nationals on the baked goods and the shake. I want them dying. Oh my God, I need bags of these. And then Jody will have like 2 SUVs filled with all kinds of baked goods in there. So we want the snacks and we want our shakes there. Introduce them to everybody.
You get gold, silver, bronze. You get the award. It's the whole thing. Like
And the friendships are fantastic. People are so nice. It's unbelievable. So wonderful. So wonderful to be around people with high affinity. Finally, people that are interested in fitness and competing, not just
The
working
sound
out.
goes on. Get the medal. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's it, everybody. If you have any questions, let us know. Yeah, it'll be in files in the app, but it's going to be for the USA Track and Field team. And it may be broken down. Sprinters, completely different. So sprinters, hurdlers, people that got a drop weight, that's one. And then throwers, jumpers, that's a whole nother one. And distance runners, that's a completely different one. Yeah, so there's 2 different plans in there. Okay, everybody. Good seeing everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to look at the chat and see if anybody's saying anything else to me here.
Melinda?
Master for powerlifting training. I know you mentioned before. This training is conditioning training and it matches the sport, but you can be doing power sports the same time that you're actually doing track training. They're not gonna, especially if you're a thrower or if you're a race walker, that's not gonna alter you lifting heavy. You're just not gonna do real intense long walk before a power meet. Obviously, once you're done with your race next week or the end of this week, Karen, you'll stop all your intense walks anyway. All powerlifting. So not much of a difference. Powerlifting, first of all, track and powerlifting are both sports that help all sports. So that's why they're actually really good and they'll coincide perfectly fine together.
Good.
Okay. Anybody got any other questions for me?
Thank you.
That look like it. Yeah, good. And Karen, I did get your email. I'm going to email you back all the answers. So I'll send that email back to you later. Okay. All right. Nice seeing everybody. We'll talk soon. Message me. Okay, stop there.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.